make yourself comfortable, let your shoulders soften and take a moment to breathe slowly in order to relax. Now, with the gentlest touch, place your fingertips upon a tender spot where your heart's pulse whispers beneath your skin, perhaps at your wrist or along the sides of your neck, just beneath your jawline. You might even feel it in the hollow at the base of your throat, between your collarbones. Personally, I feel my heartbeat most clearly there. Once you sense it, let yourself be carried along by this soothing rhythm. In this whispered journey, I will unveil the hidden working of your cardiac pump, weaving in rich physiological insight, delivered with clarity and ease. I designed each passage to sate your scientific curiosity while preserving the gentle serenity of an ASMR atmosphere. Envision an organ that beats ceaselessly of its own accord to nourish every corner of your body. That organ is your heart. This natural, self-driven pump begins its labor before you draw your first breath, and it accompanies you throughout every moment of your life. Remarkably, it is the very first organ to assume function. Though the neural and digestive tubes form earlier, they are not yet active when the heart starts its activity. In the human embryo, by around the 21st day after fertilization of the ovum, the primitive heart, then a simple tubular structure, begins its peristaltic contraction in order to rhythmically propel blood. Those initial waves of contraction are slow and irregular at first. They grow steadily and more coordinated as specialized conduction structures come into being. The heart's purpose is nothing less than vital. It drives blood through a closed network of vessels, delivering life-sustaining oxygen and nutrients to every cell, while collecting carbon dioxide and metabolic byproducts for clearance. We call arteries the vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, and the vessels that return oxygen-poor blood are called veins. There is just a singular exception, the four pulmonary veins, which convey freshly oxygenated blood back to the left atrium. These four pulmonary veins are so named despite carrying oxygenated blood, because usually veins convey desoxygenated blood. They bear this designation solely because the blood they transport flows toward the heart rather than away from it. By ferrying oxygen, nutrients, and hormones to tissues, and gathering carbon dioxide and metabolic waste, the blood pumped by your heart underpins the metabolism and survival of every cell. At rest in you at this very moment, as you listen to this ASMR audio, your heart's output hovers around 5 to 6 liters per minute. In other words, in a single breath's time, your heart propels roughly your entire blood volume, about 5 liters, and this through the systemic circulation. The same volume is circulated over and over. Blood leaves the heart, travels through every organ to deliver oxygen and nutrients, returns to the right side of the heart, Then it's sent to the lungs for reoxygenation, and after that it comes back to the left side of the heart before being distributed once again throughout your body. Now we will review this circuit more slowly and repeat it a few times so that it will become effortlessly memorable for you. The systemic circulation, as I've just described, is the vast network that irrigates every part of your body. Systemic truly means the whole system, your body in this case. It's just as geographers might speak of our planet as a global system. I trust the analogy resonates. Let's return to the flow of blood that your heart pumps each minute. If you were to stand up suddenly and begin running, your cardiac output could rise 20 until 25 liters per minute. This means your blood would complete its circuit 4 times faster than at rest. And if you are an elite athlete listening now, be aware that under intense exertion, your output might climb even higher, to 30 until 40 liters per minute. Yet this torrent of blood is not sent haphazardly. Its distribution is finely regulated. Though the brain constitutes a mere 2% of body weight, at rest it receives 15 to 20% of total cardiac output to ensure a constant supply of oxygen and glucose. The brain is also a vital organ. Meanwhile, your digestive tract can receive between 25% and 40% of your cardiac output, depending on the size and composition of your meal. After a hearty meal, your body directs a significant portion of blood flow to the stomach and intestines in order to aid digestion and nutrient absorption. This redistribution is orchestrated by digestive hormones and neural signals that fine-tune both the rhythm and strength of each cardiac contraction. Contrary to a common misconception, your brain does not become underperfused during digestion. Its blood flow remains stable. The drowsiness you feel after a heavy meal is therefore not due to cerebral oxygen deprivation, but rather to the release of multiple factors, most notably the gut peptide cholecystokinin and the cytokine interleukin-1, along with other hormonal and neurochemical signals such as GLP-1, insulin, and reduced orexin activity. Together, they all promote satiety and induce a gentle sense of fatigue. As we previously saw it during physical exercise, the heart increases its output surges to 4 or 5 times its resting volume, primarily by speeding up its rate. Blood is then preferentially shunted to active muscles, while perfusion of the brain and the heart itself is maintained. It is the supply to the so-called non-essential organs that is temporarily curtailed to meet the demand of exercise. This elegant redistribution rests upon mechanical and nervous mechanisms. For me, and I trust for you as well, uncovering the subtle secrets of the human heart is not only an intellectual delight but also a practical compass guiding us to adopt healthier habits by listening to our body's needs. To make the workings of the cardiac pump effortlessly graspable, In just a few moments, you'll have a vivid mental picture of the heart's architecture, which will help you illuminate even more clearly why the heart contracts and how oxygenated and disoxygenated blood travels through its chambers. In anatomical description, we adopt the subject's vantage, as if they stand before us. Their left is our right, and their right is our left. Now, imagine a mannequin standing in front of you, its torso bisected by a frontal plane. So, did you remember? When I refer to the heart's left or right, I mean that of the mannequin, not yours or mine. Nestled in the middle mediastinum between the lungs, the heart lies slightly to the left of center. Its broad base rests superiorly against the great vessels, while its pointed apex sits lower anteriorly and inclined towards the left. That tip, the so-called apex, reposes on the diaphragm. It's a muscle that helps you breathe. The heart consists of three distinct layers. First, the endocardium. This is the innermost lining in direct contact with the blood. This layer is coating each cardiac chamber. Second, you have the myocardium, the muscular middle layer, which is a continuous helical band whose spiral architecture imparts a twisting motion to the ventricles during contraction. This twisting motion optimizes the blood ejection. And finally, we have the third layer, which is the pericardium. It's a double-walled sac enveloping and therefore protecting the heart. The visceral layer, called epicardium, adheres directly to the myocardium, while the parietal layer forms the outer boundary. Between them lies a thin film of pericardial fluid, granting the heart freedom in order to move without friction. Anatomists speak of this sac as reflecting upon itself. To visualize a membrane reflecting on itself, imagine pushing your fist into a slightly deflated balloon. The balloon's skin then envelopes your fist right up to the wrist. Inside this hollow organ lie 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. There are 1 right atrium and 1 left atrium. These atria receive blood. The right atrium welcomes disoxygenated venous return from the body via the superior vena cava, while the left atrium gathers freshly oxygenated blood from the lungs through the 4 pulmonary veins. But recall, the heart's architecture comprises 4 chambers. Having explored the atria, we turn to the remaining pair, which are the ventricles. They are also apportioned into right and left compartments. Their function is to eject the blood. The right ventricle propels blood into the pulmonary circulation, whereas the left ventricle pumps blood into the systemic circulation. The pulmonary circuit is often called the small circulation, while the systemic circuit is known as the great circulation. Remarkably, the left ventricular wall measures roughly 1 centimeter in thickness, considerably more robust than the right, which is under 5 millimeters thick. This greater thickness enables the left ventricle to generate the higher pressures whereas the right ventricle's more modest force suffice to ferry blood gently to the nearby lungs. Each cardiac chamber is separated by one-way valves. You can call them also unidirectional valves. They prevent any backflow of blood. In a healthy heart, these valves must close completely to ensure blood moves in only one direction. To protect these structures, good oral hygiene is very important, because bacteria you have on the mouth, if you have problem, they can enter the bloodstream and fix themselves to these valves. And by having a good oral hygiene, you preserve the functioning of these valves. Within the heart lie four valves. First, the mitral valve, which stands between the left atrium and the left ventricle. Beside it rests the tricuspid valve. It is partitioning the right atrium from the right ventricle. Beyond this comes the pulmonary valve, positioned between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. And finally, we have the aortic valve, which guards the exit from the left ventricle into the aorta. These valves open and close in response to pressure gradients that develop in the various chambers throughout the cardiac cycle. In a few minutes, I will explain in detail what we mean by cardiac cycle, but first let's complete our anatomical survey with the coronary arterial network. The term coronary derives from the Latin corona, meaning crown, because these arteries encircle the heart much like a regal crown upon a head. Incidentally, the virus that brought the world to a standstill in 2020 also owes its name from that very same Latin root. This coronary circulation supplies the heart muscle itself. Most coronary perfusion occurs during diastole, the heart's filling phase. It's because during systole, the ejection phase, the contracting myocardium compresses the intramural coronary vessels. This cyclical perfusion is vital because the heart's own muscle has an extraordinary metabolic demand. It means that it requires a constant supply of oxygen and nutrient to function. I talked about intramural coronary vessels. It means that they are sticking to the walls to the walls of the heart. And I said that I will speak about the cardiac cycle in a few minutes. That's not true. It's in the second video, not here. So, in summary, when the myocardium relaxes to refill with blood during diastole, the coronary vessels remain open and fully perfuse the muscle. In contrast, during systole, the contracting heart muscle compresses these same vessels against its walls. It interrupts the flow, and at this moment, the ventricular wall itself does not receive direct perfusion. This first part of our ASMR journey through the heart comes to an end. Follow me for the second and third parts, where we will keep exploring its wonders. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, feel free to share, like, and leave a comment. If it will help me a lot. And don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like more videos about the heart once you've explored all three parts, just let me know. I'll be delighted to share more about its fascinating functions. And there's a lot to say about it. See you next time.